few tips for harvesting cool weather crops in the Houston area, and also a few planting tips of what we're going to plant next in the garden. Today, our Swiss chard. We are checking out our Swiss chard, which we have planted by seeds, and it has come up, and we're checking for insect damage to remove the insects. And we're harvesting the outer leaves, and we're leaving the inner leaves, the heart of the plant, to come in again. And so we're harvesting in a cut and come again style. Let me find a leaf here. So I'm harvesting a nice stem, and it's going directly into my cool water to stay hydrated, because it's still hot outside and I don't want it to wilt. There's a lot of transpiration going on, and so this will keep my lettuce greens and my chard nice and hydrated. So I've harvested chard and also baby pak choy. Last week we planted garlic and onions here in the garden. Let's see how they're coming up. Here we have multiplying onions. We got a few baby plants from another gardener. She divided her multiplying onions, and so we have these coming up. September through November is the best time to plant, to divide and replant multiplying onions. Now here is the garlic. So this is after 1 week. This garlic has already come up. And right in between the garlic and the onions, we have planted carrots. So we have interplanted and seeded baby carrots, and these are the carrot seedlings coming up. Now during the summer, in August, we planted buckwheat. This is buckwheat that's coming up, and we planted it before we planted the garlic and the onions because it fixes phosphorus in the soil. And to use it as a green cover crop, a green manure, we want to harvest it before the seeds set. So right now it's in flower, and I am simply going to cut it back at the bottom, and I can do a chop and drop and turn this into green manure. So I'm chopping this up, and I'm simply adding it back to the soil. I want to be careful because I did plant my carrot seedlings here. So I'm just chopping this up and using it as a top dressing around my plants as a green manure. So let me trim these. It's time to remove and take out our cover crop of buckwheat. Doesn't that look lovely? In Asia, the leaves are actually used in tea. They'll blend it with green tea for a nutritious, delicious hot tea. I'm leaving the roots of the buckwheat in the ground to decompose, and again, simply harvesting this and turning it into a green manure. And that simply means I'm chopping it and letting it be a mulch directly on top of the garden. So I'm simply chop and drop this green material, spreading it out to dry out. And right now it's high in nitrogen since it's green, but once it dries out and turns brown, then we'll have more carbon material added right back to the garden. Okay, we have our crop soaking in water, getting nice and clean. Now it's time to plant sugar snap peas. In the Houston area, December and January is actually the best and ideal time to plant sugar snap peas. We're going to get a little bit of a head start by planting them mid-November right now. So right over here, we are going to plant our sugar snap peas below this trellis because they are vines and they're going to climb up. So I have my peas, and I actually go and need to get my little garden trowel. So I'll let you take a little tour of how I've prepped the area and remove the mulch. going to put these peas right back in there. Your peas will germinate just a little bit faster when you soak them in water for a couple of hours. It's very dry out here in the garden. We use collected rainwater here in the garden, and we do have a drip irrigation system. But when we have a drought of water here in the garden. So we're tied into Mother Nature. So I am adding approximately 1 cup of slow release plant food per 4 square feet. That's my ratio of this MicroLife organic plant food. So I am sprinkling it in. And now with my cultivator, I'm going to till and cultivate my plant food in. Legumes are a great plant to plant all through the year because they give back to the soil. They help to fix nitrogen into the soil, as well as producing a delicious and tasty treat of edible pods. So we are planting a variety of peas, which is called sugar snap peas. And the outer pod is sweet, juicy, and crunchy. So it's called a sugar snap pea. It's our favorite to eat right off the vine, and so that's why we're going to get these started. And I am simply digging a little bit of a trough so I can drop the seeds in. With children, when planting with children, we love to give them their peas so they can actually poke it into the soil and push it in. We're going to plant 3 times the width of the seed. So the seed depth is 3 times the width. So about an inch. We'll say that this is about a centimeter. And so if you have 3 centimeters or 1 inch. And here I go. I am going to drop them every 2 to 3 inches. I'll drop a pea in. Okay, now I'm going to cover these up. My peas are planted, and now I'll water them in. So thanks for joining me here in the teaching garden. And until next time, I'll see you in the garden.